Hello, everyone. Welcome to Founders Live Seattle. I am so excited to be back with you this evening. We have an awesome lineup of pitchers for us. We have a really cool new after party. We're going to try a new non-Zoom breakout room. So grab a drink, invite a friend, share out the link. Do us a favor, go ahead and click thumbs up right below this video if you're watching so other people can find us. Hey, everyone. Really glad to have you. I am just so excited about the group of startups we have today. We are going to be going for the next probably 90 minutes, but last year, or not last year, feels like a year ago, last month our after party went for like 3 hours. So make sure you're sticking around, liking this video, inviting your friends. Before we jump into our pitches, we are going to have an awesome conversation with Arif Gursel. He has been generous enough to spend some time with us. He is the Executive Director for the PanAfrican Center for Empowerment, or PACE. So Arif, come on up. I'm so excited to have you here today.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Yeah. So Arif, can you just tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do at PACE?
Yeah. No. Thank you. First of all, for having me. At heart, I'm a serial entrepreneur, right? Like I'm always starting businesses, focused on, advising companies and helping, others, do the same. I am originally from Brooklyn, New York. I've been living in Seattle for 20 plus years now. I moved here back in 2000 for an internship with Microsoft. At that point in time, I was heavily focused in the music industry, but also doing a computer science undergrad at Tuskegee University, and was trying to figure out how to mix the two worlds together. How am I going to mix, my love for technology with my love for music making? And then that led to a chance internship with Microsoft working on Windows Media Technology. Spent some time, that summer working on codecs, which allow the streaming of, audio and video across the internet. And around that time, Microsoft was spinning up a skunkworks project by the name of Xbox. And it was a little known project. Microsoft was going to get into gaming. And I was like, no way in the world I'm going back to school and I'm going to miss this. So I interviewed for a full-time job while I was, doing my internship, got the job, and wound up, ultimately, dropping out of my undergrad program with like 6 months left to go and joined Microsoft as the first person on the Xbox Alternative Entertainment team. And so what I spent, my first year was just basically thinking about all the non-gaming scenarios that an Xbox console could do. So everyone, I wasn't a gamer, but I started thinking about music ideas and video ideas and camera ideas. And so, we were about a 5-person team, and we kicked out a lot of the first OTT technologies. So when you think about streaming audio and video through video game consoles, my team did that. We released the first Xbox camera, which was the Vision camera, which ultimately led to the Kinect camera, where you started doing gameplay using those kind of controls. So I did a lot of cool things in alternative entertainment for Xbox. And after 5 years at Xbox, I joined Windows, where I became, the lead product manager for audio and video stack and technologies of Windows, which led me into an interesting path of managing most of the pro audio and video providers, so hardware providers for Microsoft. And, that opened me to a whole nother world of business outside of what I was doing as an engineer. And, I wound up becoming the first technical evangelist, global evangelist for Microsoft for media and entertainment, and, traveled the world for some years and just built really large solutions for other companies on the Microsoft platform. And then that led me into business alliance work, and I decided to go back and get my MBA. I ultimately wound up finishing my undergrad education because my mother wouldn't let me live that down. She basically kept calling me a high school graduate, and so that didn't sit right with me. And so I ultimately finished my undergrad in computer science and went on to get my MBA at the University of Chicago Booth School of Business, where I focused on technology strategy and quantitative marketing. And it was at that time where I realized that I wasn't going to spend probably too many years in large companies. And, I really wanted to go try my hand at some of my own ideas. So I left Microsoft and I started an agency focused on quantitative marketing and social media management. And in that agency, called Vibe Heavy, which I still run today, I like to think of it more as a product lab. So it's where I try a lot of ideas, things that, I throw things at the wall, I see what sticks. And if it sticks, most likely I'm spinning out of business, I'm bootstrapping or trying to raise funds for that. And then we also consult and help other people do the same, right? So whether that's branding, whether that's technology strategy, whether that's, growth hacking, wherever a stage of a company may be, at Vibe Heavy, we consult individuals there. And so in 2014, I had a pretty successful exit on some technology that I had invested in and built. And I looked around and realized, I had, done pretty well for myself. Some of my close friends had done pretty well for themselves. And we were all, young Black men who the thing that we shared in this friendship circle was we were all from Chicago. And Chicago has a pretty notorious history for being a great city, but it also has some problems in its inner city. And we all, were products of that inner city, but technology, I think, was the one common denominator amongst us, and it was the thing that kind of changed our lives. And so, I asked a simple question: is how could we help our community through technology? And around that same time, you had Tamir Rice and Trayvon Martin and Mike Brown were all, murders that we saw pretty rapid fire of young Black men by police at that time. And I remember being that age and said, that could have very easily been myself or my little cousin. And so we had an idea to, see if we could help save lives through technology, right? We're not going to save everybody, but we started thinking about, like, what would a coding boot camp look like if it was built for people of the Black community, of people of African descent, to specifically remove a lot of the imposter syndrome and fake barriers that are put in the way of people who want to acquire technology skills. And so a good friend of mine and I started a school called Floodgate Academy Seattle at that time. And we were the first Black owned and run boot camp, as far as I know, on the West Coast, who specifically catered to individuals of African descent. And I definitely know we were the only in Seattle at that time. And so, we started with me teaching a cohort of 30 people literally out of my startup office, where you would have, things all over the wall. And so from there, that was the first initiative of PACE. That's how PACE was born. And PACE, basically, we call ourselves a STEAM engine. So we use modern principles around science, technology, entrepreneurship, arts, and media to have positive impact in people of African descent's lives and advocate, for education and activism. And so that's essentially the work that we do. We own a 2,000 square foot space in downtown Seattle called the Union. And out of the Union is kind of where we operate multiple programs, including our education program. And so at the end of this month, we're relaunching our education platform called Koya Academy, which was formerly Floodgate. And we are, operating a full media lab and facility, because during COVID, you can't really operate a co-working space. So that's pretty much who I am, what I'm doing. I'm balancing being an executive director of this nonprofit, where we have great volunteers and staff that kind of run things now. I just provide strategy. By day, I run global partnerships and alliances at Netflix. So I'm responsible for the Netflix and Google relationship specifically, globally. And then I'm an advisor, investor, and still, serial tinkerer myself in various startup ideas here locally in Seattle.
That is awesome. Well, thank you so much, Arif, for joining me today. I really wanted to plug the amazing work that you're doing, bringing technology to underserved populations, especially for our Black friends in Seattle and beyond. I just think it's so fantastic. So can you tell me a little bit about the PanAfrican Center for Empowerment and kind of like what's your mission there, and where can Seattle plug in to help you?
Yeah, so I mean, as you all kind of have a link at the bottom, you can go to our website, getonpace.org, a little bit more about our programs. We're globally focused, and the word, Pan-African does mean that. We have a global focus, and we're focused on people of African descent globally, because usually that's the most underserved community, and wherever you land yourself. I've been all around the world, and every time I stumble across the Black community wherever I am locally, that's a community that's starving and hurting the most for resources. And then that changes when you get to the continent of Africa, and where in Africa, you look at, a colonialistic problem of histories of colonization, degrading lifestyle for people of African descent, even on the continent of Africa. So, we're headquartered in Seattle, Washington. We also have chartered NGOs in Nigeria. Now we're also in South Africa through partnerships that we have with people on the ground who execute those programs. And as I mentioned, in the kickoff, we're really focused we're focused on programs and impact in 5 key areas, right? Or what we refer to as STEAM, right? So that's science, technology, entrepreneurship, arts, and media. In entrepreneurship, we run an incubator and accelerator where we've, helped local founders of African descent take their ideas, go from 0 to 1, and in some cases 1 to many, right? Because you're going to see yourself at different stages of a business and in the business process, and you're going to have different needs. For the last 4 years or so, up until recently, I was an advisor at Techstar Seattle locally, where I led the first Black company that was founded by Black individuals that Techstars invested in. I led, as an advisor, them through that experience. And then, I'm also advising, other companies outside of that. So at Pace, we really are just focusing on providing resources to those who don't have it, providing access to quality education, quality network, quality skills training. And in general, we're trying to leave our worlds a better place than we found it.
Yeah, awesome. Well, thank you for sharing your work and your journey here. One of the things that when I reached out to you, a conversation I wanted to have was, okay, it's February, it's Black History Month. I personally have some mixed feelings around Black History Month. I think it's such an important celebration of Black culture and, Black excellence. And at the same time, is it a once a year, kind of corporate marketing campaign that continues to view Black people through the lens of white supremacy, tying them back and defining them through their relationship with the meta-white culture. So that was one conversation that I wanted to just kind of bring up for us, because I think it's important to name that. So Arif, please share, what are your personal thoughts? Where do you land along this?
Well, I think any opportunity that myself or anyone else, whether they're inside my community or outside my community, have an opportunity to engage with community and through a principle of community, I always view it as a positive thing. I think, unfortunately, we live in a country where people are more interested in propaganda, PR, and narrative. And so as I watch, I think one of the biggest hypocrisies right now, as I logged into LinkedIn this month and I see a red, black, and green flag as the logo, there were some people who got super excited about that. I personally was, I didn't have that same pleasurable feeling when I saw that, because to me, those are the PR stunts. Those are the things that actually don't mean anything, especially when we think about tech companies and the dismal hiring numbers that they have and retention numbers, which are worse than the hiring numbers. Like, so many people are complaining about the hiring numbers in technology, but no one's, looked at the retention numbers in technology. If somebody actually, as a Black individual, actually gets in a company, how long are they there, or how long are they kept in role, or what do advancement opportunities look like? And so I'll watch a company like LinkedIn change their logo to red, black, and green, but don't even understand the history of it, nor use that as an opportunity to educate the millions of people who are coming to LinkedIn every day about the history of it. So during Black History Month, you aren't actually teaching any history. I think furthermore, I actually watch people, further pain, right? So I told my children, when they came in this year, I said, look, you can't come talk to me about a Martin Luther King or a Harriet Tubman, or first of all, I'm tired about every way we position this history is always about Black people and slavery. We have a very long, ancient history that's beautiful. And so if we aren't talking about thousands of years ago and the kingdoms that this country, that this world was birthed out of Africa, if we're not talking about Mansa Musa and the true history of this world, then we aren't talking about anything. And I tell my kids all the time, I say, look, Martin Luther King is not history, right? Like, my mother saw Martin Luther King. My mother was in the 60s in the civil rights struggle. That's not history. That's news, right? That's current affairs, right? Like, nothing about that is history. And so if we're going to talk about Black history, I think it's an opportunity for people to learn about something they don't already know, not something, something they haven't heard. And there's also not a time for cultural appropriation during this time. So it's really interesting for me to not have grown up in a predominantly white environment like Seattle. I'm a kid. I was born in Chicago. I was raised in Brooklyn. I went to school in Alabama. And, even in those times, it was really, really diverse. But when you come to Seattle, I'm like, okay, here my daughter is the Black kid in her school, in her class. There are no Black instructors. Who's teaching Black history? What are you teaching, right? So I grew up in a world where at least Black history was a time for me to learn from Black professors, Black teachers. People in my community had things where I was learning things I didn't learn. My kids aren't learning anything in Seattle, and especially if you're going to use it as a time to cooperate, to co-op and to culturally appropriate an opportunity. So I think people should challenge themselves. I think it's about history. And it's about not whitewashing the history, right? Like, I don't want to hear another person say, well, Martin Luther King died. Martin Luther King was assassinated, right? Like, that's the truth. And then we're not going to heal or come to a reckoning in this country till we can start being honest about the engagement that, you know, people in the community walk. Even as a founder, right? Like, I am going to go through a way larger of a hurdle to even start a company because I'm a man of African descent. And I can't tell you how many, even with my history and my track record, I've literally had VCs tell me like, oh, we love this idea, we'll fund it, but you can't be the CEO. We're going to take this, you know, cookie cutter person from our network and make them the CEO, but they don't have the skills that I have. They don't even have the education that I have, but they have a different look that I have that makes it more comfortable to cut that check. So, you know, Black History Month is a iffy one for me, and it's why I don't necessarily celebrate it as it is. You know, we prefer at Pace to call it Black Futures Month. And so we are more interested in where Black people and people of African descent are going versus the history of where we've been in this country, because that's not anything to celebrate.
Yeah, absolutely. I just thank you for being here and helping us have this conversation, Arif. So we're having some great comments in the chat. Please put your comments in the chat. If you have questions for us, plug it in now, and stick around with us for the after party. These are the kind of real conversations that it's hard to have in, you know, kind of a short opening segment, but would love to invite everyone to plug in this evening. So Arif, I loved what you said about building Black futures. Can you talk more about that? What does that look like for you? And again, you know, where does Seattle plug in?
I think Seattle is, you know, when I think about technology, I think Seattle. I think some people are like, it's the Bay Area, but, you know, I've been in both places. And for years, you know, for the last 5 years, I've lived in Seattle and I worked in the Bay. Before I was at Netflix, I was at Salesforce. So I spent a lot of time in the Bay Area. There is a technical and a business savvy in Seattle that I think is playing like little brother to the Bay Area, but it's far superior in my opinion. And so when I think about the opportunity, I've never had more opportunity to build great ideas with people who are just like right around me. But when I think about the Black community, it goes super underserved, right? So for instance, when the beginning of this year, when everything was about Black Lives Matter and everybody wanted to celebrate Juneteenth and every major company wanted to throw, you know, money at the 3 Black organizations they know, we're going to send some money to NAACP or Urban League or, you know, United Negro College Fund, you know, all of these organizations that when you go look at their national boards, they're headed by white people. So they're not really Black organizations. But I found it really interesting that instead of like Amazon cutting a check to local nonprofits who are actually working in the shadow of the buildings that they've built, Black people aren't progressing in Seattle, right? Like, this community is amongst the castles and the peasants are doing the worst. And so I think it's a real opportunity for the local community to understand how to have impact on a community level. And also for the Black employees who are transplants, who are being brought here by Microsoft and Google and Amazon and, you know, all of these great companies, I don't see enough of them actually getting into the community, you know, going into places that they could actually have a real impact with the skills that they're bringing to the market. So for years since I've been here, you know, I was one of the founders of Hack the CD, where we were doing hackathons in the Central District. You know, I was, you know, doing a lot of things on the ground, helping entrepreneurs, and I still do it. But at the end of last year, I actually, you know, stopped working, hopped on a plane, went to Africa for 2 months and spent some serious time in Ghana and South Africa, you know, investing in businesses. And now I have actually founded companies both in South Africa and in Ghana, and I'm investing in the local workforce there, because I think there's something, you know, beautiful about when the African diaspora connects with those on the continent and we take the brain trust and the power that we globally have and start to think about products and services that move an entire continent of people and those of us in the diaspora who are also descendants of those people.
Yeah, we have a great question from the chat. If you guys have questions for Arif, please put it in. Claudius is asking, how can other people educate themselves on the Black experience from your perspective? Thanks, Claudius.
Yeah, great. And shout out to Claudius. New is another company, you know, that's a dope company. And it's been great to watch them grow from the very beginning as well. They were also part of, you know, some earlier events that we did in community engagement. I think it's quite simple. You have to read and you have to unplug. You can't get education for Black experience through white institutions. I think it's just that simple. And so you have to read the books that have been hidden from you. You have to seek out the knowledge that's not right in front of you. You have to question what you read and why it exists in the first place. You know, and I think more importantly, the Black experience is not a monolith. So when people say, you know, Black people or the Black experience, my experience is my experience. And you could talk to another Black individual or someone of African descent, because I don't really use the term Black a lot. They're going to have a different experience than me. And so I think it's super important to talk to our elders. You know, we are losing people every day who have a lived history in this country that have a lot to share, and a lot of lessons that we can learn. And so I spend a lot of time talking to my elders. I spend a lot of time reading, and then I spend even more time debating. I'm one of those people who I have strong opinions loosely held, but I respect the ideas of others. And if you can move me away from my position, I'm going to adopt your position, because you've obviously debated me away from a thing. So just spend a lot of time reading and engaging.
I love that. We have time for probably one more question from the chat. One thing I wanted to bring up, because this is just as a white folk, I have this question for myself. What is your preferred, you know, Black, BIPOC, African descent? I know that everyone has a different preference. So I'm trying to just, you know, kind of see what is your personal preference? Can you speak to that a little bit?
Yes, this is Arif's response. I'm not speaking for anyone else, but this is definitely my response. And I'll take those kind of in an order of the things that I hate the most. Yeah. The thing that I hate the most is BIPOC. That to me is not a term that should exist. It's not a term that anyone should use. It's really weird. All it really translates to is non-white. And so it's an inverse of a thing that really is just a construct in the first place. So it's a construct of a construct and the inverse of one. And then when you talk about Black, Indigenous, and people of color, we're really going back to a time in which we fought to get away from, which was people calling us colored. And so now it's funny that everyone wants to group themselves up again and be colored, but this time they get to like self-opt in. I think it's the silliest thing ever, personally. So I don't use BIPOC. And the reason is, you know, my wife has a saying that I love: all white supremacists aren't white. And by that, just because someone has a melanated tone doesn't mean they have my best interest at heart. So I'm not going to just artificially align myself with someone based on a racial classification that a country that doesn't treat me fair created in the first place, right? If you meet somebody from India and you meet somebody from China, they're both called Asian, right? That doesn't make sense to me. And so, you know, the United States only has 5 racial class designations that were created in 1996. And so everybody must loop themselves up into the 5. And what we're basically saying is, when you say BIPOC, it's let's all the other 4 come together except the one that is white. And it's just silly. It's another layer on a silly ass system. So that's one thing. African American, if that's something that suits you, that's great. I actually like to refer to it in the opposite. So I call myself an American African. And when I call myself an American African, it keeps to me in my mind that I am descended from Africa, and America is just my tribe. And so, you know, as I'm here, we, you know, the people of African descent who've been in America and we've been here for generations, we created a culture, and there's no part of that culture that I want to abandon. This is the creation of my ancestors and my elders. And so I appreciate it. But at the same time, I also acknowledge that, you know, I am descended from another place. And so I personally refer to myself as a person of African descent, or, you know, Pan-African is an ideology about how I view other people of African descent. And then Black is, you know, you catch me on the day, right? But really, you know, I deal with the whole Black and white is like this construct of this country. And, you know, when you think about, I traveled the world, and there's only a few places I've been to where Black and white are dominant systems. You know, that's like America, Australia, and South Africa, right? Like 3 places that created this racial construct to really, you know, introduce the notion of white supremacy, right? Because if you talk to people from Europe and you quickly ask them what they are, they're going to tell you hey man, I'm French, I'm Italian, I'm this, right? It's not till they've actually, you know, been indoctrinated into a US way of doing things that they adopt the construct of white, because there's a privilege that comes along with it.
Well, thank you so much, Arif. We had an awesome question from Michael in the chat, but you know what? I need to keep us on time. I am so grateful for all the time that you spent with us, Arif. I hope that maybe we can stick around in the after party, or at the next future in-person party. I know that you guys are gonna have a big party at the union, so
yeah. I saw Michael's question really quick, and I'll just give him a quick answer.
Yeah.
I debate my peers, all others I teach.
I love that. Love that. I'm gonna pull away with that. Thank you so much, Arif. Really appreciate you. So good to have you here. We will see you soon. All right. So excited. Really grateful for Arif. Give him some love. If you guys have, we're giving this event out to you for free. So if you have an extra 10, 20 bucks burn a hole in your pocket, take a moment, head over to their website, pace.org/donate. Give them a little bit. All right. I personally could sit here and have this conversation for days, but I know that there are some people who are dying to get in and hear from our amazing startups we have. We're going to get started in just a second, but I want to pull Nick up here really quick. You have some exciting news for us, which we're going to do in just a second. I'm sorry. I'm getting myself.
Founders Live is the global venue for modern entrepreneurs, especially during these very challenging times. The direct impact of COVID-19 is currently being felt around the world, and it could get worse before it gets better. We are here to help you through these challenging times by connecting you to the people, information, and resources meant to move you forward as you start your next project.
We see an opportunity to bring the resources and capital and connections to the people that need it and the people that can use it, no matter where they live in the world. My honest opinion is, no matter what the economic climate is in the world, Founders Live can be important. In the good times, when it's booming, we're here to help grow companies and have them access capital that's flowing around the world and really be a fun, great event and global platform that powers entrepreneurship. In the tough times, we actually think we can be the answer. Given the fact that if people are actually getting laid off and unemployment starts rising, well, the choice to start their own business is front and center, and Founders Live is right there to help them grow. I believe the secret sauce of Founders Live lies in the combination of these three words: inspiration, education, and entertainment. Inspiration is rooted in the energy and the passion that every single attendee has. The education is the information that we're bringing to people that they otherwise couldn't find. Founders Live Online helps solve entrepreneurs' daily challenges. If you have a question that you're just wondering, like, I don't know what to do here, you simply need to just type it into Founders Live and someone else will answer it right there for you. And the entertainment is the fun. We believe business should be fun, we believe it should be casual, and we believe it should be inspirational. Founders Live is the perfect place for you to connect with other entrepreneurs and to be inspired.
Hello everyone. It's so nice to be here. I'm so excited to join you. This is a pleasure. Amelia is doing such a good job, and I just want to share a couple thoughts. I have a special announcement to make. I'm so pumped and excited about it. And so I'm only going to be here for a few minutes and just talk about a few things. And I first want to say, I'm just going to say right now, if I drop, it's because the tech gods didn't want me to talk. And Amelia, you just jump in and you take it forward. But hopefully we can move forward here. So, you know what, everyone? I want to show you a couple things that are happening because this is some exciting stuff. Before I get there, what I want to tell you is Founders Live is audience participation. What makes Founders Live incredible is you commenting, cheering, chatting, asking questions. So I don't want to have to come in and say it again. I want you to be active on there. That's what it's about. We're recreating what usually feels amazing in person. So please don't just sit there and watch, participate, be a part of the community. All right. Well, what I want to tell you is it's just exciting news. Our product and experience roadmap is absolutely crazy cool. We are working on some incredible things for you, the community, and the world. And one thing I want to announce tonight, we're really excited about it, is that Founders Live Primetime is really developing into an amazing experience around the world. Founders Live Primetime, if you're not familiar, is now our global competition. So it is a global series of events focused on the regions of the world for the winners that come out of all of our events. And today we want to talk about some things that we're developing around the Primetime experience that you will be excited about. So Primetime is not just a pitch competition. It's a global celebration. It is a global celebration having entertainment. It's a competition and it's networking. And oh, by the way, look, we're talking about North America. So this is an event that will be the top startups from North America, Latin America, Europe, Africa, and Asia. We're so excited about it. We're talking about now searching for the top 25 startups. Check this out. So the Primetime experience is really Q4. We will have 5 events, one in each region. And out of that comes 5 winners that will go on to the Founders Live Fest 2021. And those are events that are going to happen in October and November. So take down, you'll just see more information on this, but look at those dates, October 13th, 20th. So North America is October 13th. Someone is going to make it, possibly from this city. But, the question is, how does Founders Live choose these top 25 pitches? And that's a good question. I thought about it over the holidays, and we started building something. So today, the world, you will determine who those top 25 are. So we are building out the Founders Live Primetime app that is going to house all the winners going forward. So if you win tonight, you will go into the Founders Live Primetime app, your pitch and your company will sit there, and we list them, and we now point the world at going and watching your pitch and actually upvoting the certain startups. So basically you can go on there, you can watch any pitch of all the winners that are indexed from the regions of the world. You can watch that pitch. Clearly investors are going to be wanting to seeing that, other people, but now we just point everyone in the world towards this app to watch the winners as well as upvote. And so the highest ranking pitches, basically we take the top and we put them in the Primetime event. So this is now what we've taken as the city level events. We now put these higher level pitches and all the winners into this app, where then we will determine, based on the ranking of those votes, who qualifies for Primetime. So the announcement really is we're looking for beta users. We're looking for 20, 30, maybe 50 beta users to jump on, access it, beginning probably early next week, to test it out, watch the videos, vote, and actually find, report some bugs and suggest improvements. Do you want to be an early beta test user of the Founders Live Primetime app? There is a link below the video, but I will also share it in the chat. You just put your name and your email on there, and we'll get you access, and we want you to use it and share your opinion. We're going to roll this out publicly probably in 2 to 4 weeks, so we need your help. So if you want to see one of the early products coming out of Founders Live, beta.founderslive.com. So look out, world, here we come. The winners are now on a bigger and larger stage, and we're so excited for it. Someone tonight is going to be in that list. I can't wait to find out who it is. So we have a surprise guest, though. I'm really excited to bring up a friend. I'm excited to bring up a friend of mine that has an offer for you. He creates really amazing boot camps. I'm going to bring in Phil Castro.
What's up, Nick? How you doing?
Phil?
I see your hair is growing a little bit longer.
Yeah, it's a little different than that video, huh?
It's the winter look, huh?
Yeah, this is COVID got me big time, so I'm not sure how long it's gonna last. Though I'm getting ready to cut it, and I think it'll be in the next couple of weeks. But Phil, welcome to the show. Where are you joining us from?
Chicago. It is freezing. We just got done with a 4 or 5 day blizzard, so the snow is piled on each other right now. It's pretty crazy. I hate it. My dog loves it. But yeah, it's great in Chicago. Just wintertime, it gets a little tough sometimes.
Well, thank you for joining us, and please share with us what you would like to tell the audience and what you want to share with us.
Yeah. Hey, everybody. Saying what's up in the comments. How are you doing? Phil Castro here. I am the founder of Startup Bootcamp, and we are the go-to workshop for early stage entrepreneurs. Nick is amazing at throwing events, and I like to say that we are too. We just do things a little bit differently. And you know, a little bit about Startup Bootcamp. I traveled the country before COVID hit, obviously, and went to different cities and put on this one-day workshop. And basically, we would have a day of education that's from, you know, startup veterans like myself and other people that are much smarter than I am. And we unpack common misconceptions. We sprinkle in some golden nuggets, and we just talk about, you know, the startup journey and what to watch out for. So it's super, super insightful for anybody in the early stages, usually aspiring pre-seed and seed stages. We do have investors at every workshop, usually angels and venture capitalists both, who have, you know, big funds, and they talk about their investment thesis. And then we have a pitch competition at the end, and then finale is a happy hour networking event. So now that COVID hit, we do it virtually, of course, just like Nick's doing right now. And I work so close with Nick that I wanted to give you guys an offer, because we have a pretty great partnership. So everybody that is pitching tonight, it's a little surprise. You guys are going to have free tickets to the event next weekend on the 27th to 28th. If you guys can make it, please email me, and I'll give my email out to everybody. It's phil@startupbootcamp.com, and that's spelled with a K, camp. So phil@startupbootcamp.com. And then to everyone else who's not pitching tonight, I would still love to have you. I'm going to give you a discount code. Just put in live at the checkout and get 15% off. So that's what I wanted to do, just give you a little insight on the workshop and the opportunity. I wanted to say, Nick, keep kicking ass, keep inspiring a bunch of people to become entrepreneurs and progress on their journey. And to everyone else, hopefully see you at next weekend or future events. I'm also on Clubhouse too. It's like addicting. Phil's hungry in Clubhouse if you want to come to events in Clubhouse.
Well, thank you, Phil. Yeah. Watch out for that Clubhouse for sure. But thank you so much. And this boot camp's awesome. Check it out. Phil, keep doing the good work too. I really appreciate it. Thank you all for what you do.
You as well. See you guys.
Thank you. All right. Well, Amelia.
Hey, Nick.
How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm hanging out. I'm excited for some pitches.
I am doing well. I'm doing well, and it's exciting. Hey, we had a couple of thoughts real quick, and then I'm going to jump off because we need to get to the show. But we had New York earlier today. Kajenwa is in the audience, and she did such a great job with her team. I just want to give a shout out to NYC. And I also want to shout out to who all's watching over in Indonesia. I can tell you what, when I flip through those slides, I'll tell you that Indonesia is going to blow up. And I see Mike here. I see Mike from Indonesia. He's watching, and you all watch out. I think Seattle, we need to pick it up. Just going to tell you that, because what Mike over there in Indonesia, right there, what he's doing is going to probably overtake us. So that's my challenge to the United States and challenge to Seattle. Let's get moving. Let's show Indonesia how to do it. They might end up showing us how to do it. So with that, I just want to say it's so exciting. Stuff's going on, and I'm just trying to get enough sleep every night.
Well, you get to that. I am so excited. Yeah, I was on the call with Mike. Awesome stuff going in there. Seattle, you got to show up for me, right? We got to keep us #1 Founders Live City, the unofficial title that I have bestowed upon us. So, yeah, thank you, Nick. Really excited. I'm going to get out of here.
You're great work, and I am going to peace out. I will see you all in the Hangout networking session, which is not Zoom, so we're testing something else out, and we're excited to see that. So, peace out.
Awesome. All right, we got some love for Indonesia here. I know that we have so many people, hi Orla, who have been to Founders Live before. Okay, if this is your very first Founders Live Seattle, put it in the chat. I want to give you a shout out for showing up. If this is your first one, let me take a second to tell you what Founders Live is all about. Why you have so many people showing up every month, just hungry for this connection. So Founders Live It started in Seattle and has become a global entrepreneurial experience and virtual pitch competition. We're all about inspiration, education, and entertainment, right? Our global community plus our local community gives us unprecedented connections, experience, growth, networking possibilities. So come in, join in. Founders Live Seattle is the homepage of the modern entrepreneur, right? We have the online community, we have connections, we have videos. Nick is doing some awesome stuff, getting the hottest startups from across the globe together. Every city has these regular events. Seattle, it started here, so I'm real serious. You guys gotta stick with me. We're gonna keep this #1 Founders Live. Every month this happens across the globe. We have hundreds of guests, 5 companies, 99-second pitches, 4 minutes of Q&A from the audience. You vote, and we get to have a winner. That winner can go on to our global competitions, and everyone is live streamed globally around the world. Right? This is incredible stuff. I remember coming to one of the first Founders Lives, and I am so excited to be a part of this. So please reach out to me, reach out to Nick. Welcome to the next generation of Founders Live. We're so glad that you're here. You know, we have been going on for, it's a pretty simple setup. You know, we have a little opening entertainment, we have some pitches, we have some fun afterwards, and been able to seamlessly translate it into a global setting. So we're here for performance, competition, and networking. Founders Live Seattle, I am so glad you made your way here. Let's see, we have Stephanie, first Founders Live. Hi, Steph, so good to have you here. We got some people from Indonesia. Andrew, good to see you. I'm so glad that you made it. Wow, Bryce, hi Bryce, good to see you here. Oh my gosh, lots of Founders Live. Okay, well, you all have to stick around for the after party because it is the most fun party that occurs in my house. So we're gonna keep it going. What started in Seattle here is expanding around the world. So plug in, join us, be a part of it. We have some of the coolest connections around the world. We're in over 60 cities right now. If you are interested in starting a global company or a global chapter for Founders Live, if you want to be Founders Live Kazakhstan, let me know. Reach out, expand.founderslive.com. Everything that we do comes back to our 4 core values. This is really the reason that I started coming to Founders Live as an attendee and got hooked. First value, respectful authenticity. This is so important. It sounds simple, but we include everyone really honestly and equally, right? We want everyone to have an equal access to being successful. Our winners tend to skew female for Seattle. You know, all love to the guys, but just saying, the numbers don't lie. I'm always committed to having a diverse panel of pitchers. So please, if you know someone who should be up here pitching, connect them with me. I'd love to amplify their story. Next value, gather around the campfire. We're all storytellers. So find your campfire and entertain. We're all just here for connection and community. Also, open the door. Do nice things for people just to be nice without asking anything in return. I think that is one of the powerful pieces of this Founders Live community. Everyone just comes so selflessly trying to give and amplify what other awesome people are doing. And finally, this is maybe my favorite value, no name tags. Obviously, we're at home, we don't have real name tags, but have fun, don't be awkward. We're not here to give our little pitches. We're here to actually have some honest human connection. So have fun, you know, relax, grab a drink, invite a friend, no awkwardness. Okay, one last thing before we get started. Go ahead, share out this video. Take the YouTube, put it on your Facebook, your LinkedIn. I promise you will get some people who thank you. So give us a sec, share it out from you. And really quickly before we jump in, I want to pull in some of our friends. So first of all, I'd like to invite Alex up. Hey, Alex. So Alex is here from the collective.
Can you hear me now? Okay.
We can hear you.
Thanks. Yeah, I am. I'm in Seattle. I'm in South Lake Union at the collective. Really excited to tell all of you locally about this space that I feel very passionately about. We opened 3 years ago with the intention of connecting people around shared passions, and in this last year have really become that safe second space where you can come and get out of your sweats and enjoy productivity and a change of scenery. We're kind of a remote workspace meets high quality bar and restaurant meets the place where you can have access to wellness. I know, I'm sorry, it's loud. we do have
Sounds
music.
like you're having a party. I'm jealous. I didn't know that people were allowed to
buzz in the space again, which is very exciting. So we've got wellness, we've got great programming. We used to be the proud hosts of Founders Live every once in a while in the space here. And we also, for those of you familiar with the space, over the last year have launched a really exciting addition to our community, where we have a sister club, the Columbia Tower Club downtown, that you can also enjoy access to. It's the 75th and 76th floors of the tallest building downtown. Pretty spectacular experience. So anyways, we've got some special offers for any of you interested in membership. But if you haven't been in yet, we'd love to invite you to join us for a day pass. It's noted here on the slide, collectiveseattle.com/visit us. If I can leave a comment, I'll throw that there as well. Or feel free to send me an email. I'm happy to answer any questions. Would love to invite you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Kat. Guys, if you have not been to the collective, go check it out. I have already told Alex, I'll tell you guys right now, first in person, Founders Live Seattle, I want to be packing the collective full. So go check it out. I've been there a couple times since the shutdown. It's really impressive what you guys have done. So thank you so much, Alex. Thanks for being a part of our work. Oh my gosh, I gotta tell you guys, I am always so impressed by the people that keep showing up. But I never have favorites. I love everyone. But I know some of you are in love with Melissa. Can we give Melissa some love?
Oh, yeah.
My gosh. So Melissa Reeves is our storytelling extraordinaire. Melissa, what is it that you do?
I help all of the founders tonight do their 99-second pitches. So I'm a pitch coach. I do it all day long with all sorts of executives and business owners. And I have had a complete blast in these last few weeks with this particular group of founders. Really cool technologies. All that they're doing is great. And it was fun to help them find their stories.
That's fantastic. Thank you so much, Melissa. If you guys have not checked out Melissa or Story Fruition, she's fantastic. She has an incredible storytelling piece called Melanin Story Matters. Check her out. She has been the Clubhouse maven. So thank you so much, Melissa. Anyone who's thinking about pitching at Founders Live, you get 2 personal sessions to work with Melissa. Now, of course, you get the notoriety and the connections, but if you can hang out with Melissa, take your shot. So thank you so much, Melissa. We're so glad you're here.
Thank you. Good luck to all the presenters tonight. You're all a winner to me. You're great. Okay. And thanks, Tom, for your shout outs. Okay, bye.
Thank you. Oh my gosh. Okay. I got to bring in a couple other friends here. I got to give a shout out to Nick Ellingson. Hey. How are you doing, Nick?
I'm great. Happy Founders Live.
Yeah, you really have been growing the COVID beard. I feel like every month I get more impressed.
Well, I haven't shaved it since last March. So yeah, it's just going to keep going. I might just go until the next Founders Live and, who knows? Maybe.
Yeah, well, we can do it. We'll have like a public shaving at the collective.
I'm not going to commit to that, but I don't know. We'll see how many.
No, Nick, you hear it? Where Nick's in. Now, if you don't know Nick Ellingson, get connected with him. WTIA is fantastic. Tell us all about it.
Yeah. So Washington Technology Industry Association, we're a nonprofit that supports tech companies and the tech industry in the state. We're now the largest tech association as well. So doing a lot of regional and national work and some fun international stuff too. But for startups, we provide stage appropriate resources. So everything from product discounts to health insurance and 401k plans to shoulders to cry on. Been told my shoulder's comfortable. And kind of whatever else you need, introductions, all that kind of stuff. And we also do free memberships for startups. So I believe my email is on the screen. So shoot me an email. I'm happy to set that up for you. Normally we give free memberships to all the presenters as well, the free sort of like upgraded membership, but they're all actually members already tonight. All of them, I believe, recently accepted into our founder cohort program. So the stakes are a little bit raised because we're going to be on Zooms all day tomorrow, and someone's going to have some serious bragging rights.
Yeah, I do have to give a shout out to the WTI founder cohort. I sent one email saying, hey, anyone interested in Founders Live? And I heard back from them. So we have like the WTIA showcase. We're so excited.
Yeah,
Thank you for being an awesome connector, Nick. Really glad to have you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Cheers.
You're saying cohort 5.
Another
Thanks,
cohort member.
You guys are coming out.
That's right.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, Nick. Nick is brewing up some barbecue, so he may not be able to join us later, but we will make sure that you send us some good photos.
Cheers to all of you anyway.
Yeah. Cheers, Nick. Thanks so much. All right. I want to invite up Morgan, who is a 2-for-1 tonight.
Hey! Yes, I have a special guest with me tonight. Hi, guys. They're such a good sponsor. She actually brought me into her home. Let me stay with her. So love Morgan and love Now CFO. So how are you? Thank you. Yeah. So Now CFO, we're an accounting firm. We focus on the operational side of accounting. So everything from CFOs, controllers, down to bookkeeping services. And we customize our solution to help you guys out. So there's not a long-term commitment or a minimum amount of hours. We also help with capital raise. So if you're looking for, you're in your seed round or A round, you're looking to get some capital, we can help with the pitch decks, performas, projections, get you in touch with investors. So yeah, holler at me. I am so happy to help you guys out. And I'm really excited to be a part of Founders Live. Like, we've been a proud sponsor for several years now. So really happy to be here.
You guys, Now CFO, I have never hung out with such fun finance people. You guys are the boss. Right? Okay, I need to control your fun and put it to the side until the after party. So put a cork in it. We'll be right back for you, ladies. The after party this time is, I thought maybe 3 hours was the record. We will see. Oh my gosh.
Yes.
All right. Oh my gosh. So we are getting close down to our pitchers. Are you guys getting ready? Okay, so we have, of course, also Bernstein is a fantastic friend you have. If you guys haven't met him, connect with him. We're also so lucky to be able to offer all of our startup cloud credits for AWS. All presenters get $5,000, and the winner receives $10,000 in Amazon Web Service credit. And Google Cloud is giving $3,000 for all of the startup programs, and then $100,000 opportunities to grow into more credit. So really grateful for everything we have. I know I've been hyping it up all evening, but are you guys ready? Share out this link. We are going to get going. Go ahead and like this video for us. Here we go. Okay. Let me pull this up here. Our first company that we are going to hear from today. Remember to get your phones out to vote. We will put that link up in just a second. First up, we're going to have Max from Sports Trace. In 1 second. Take it away. You have 99 seconds. Go.
All right. Everybody, I want you to meet Steve. And Steve's a baseball player being scouted by Major League Baseball teams. He's dreamed of becoming a professional baseball player his entire life. He's good, but he needs to make sure that when the scouts are watching, he's going to literally hit it out of the park. And to do so, Steve needs to stay disciplined in his practice in the most effective and efficient way possible. Enter Sports Trace. We're an AI company that allows Steve to simply use his cell phone to measure how his swing is working, how his mechanics are changing, and how he has progressed. And that's season to season, game to game, at bat to at bat, whether it's in game or at practice, or how he might have even fallen into a slump. For a monthly Sports Trace subscription of $10.99, Steve will have links with recommendations, ways to improve, and products that'll help him make sure that when the scouts are watching, He is hitting it out of the park. We're a team of former Microsoft professionals, former coaches, former athletes, and startup founders and startup employees. And we've known one another for over 20 years. And we've already been working with Rice University, Stanford University, and Auburn University, in addition to not just baseball, but a variety of other sports, softball, golf, and soccer, proving that this is a problem worth solving and that we're the ones that can solve it. And we're here tonight to ask for both investment and customer introductions to help us continue our progress. Thanks, and I look forward to your questions.
Great job, Max. Way to go first. All right. Go ahead and put your questions in the chat. Our first question up for you, Max, is what's your go-to-market strategy? Can you explain it a bit more?
Yeah, it's interesting because we'd actually started this as a service. The idea was that lots of people have video and we can provide structured information that can give more value to that video. But in actually talking to coaches and athletes, we determined that they wanted to get that information into the hands of the athletes in a comprehensible manner. So we've been working on a mobile application so that we can go directly to consumers. We've got a marketing strategy around that that includes social, but we've also been working with teams to help to scale and training facilities as well. Initially, we'll go to market with a few sports that have isolated scenarios. Baseball's one of them, softball's another obvious choice, cricket, golf, and tennis. But we've been doing some work in soccer, as I'd mentioned. We've been doing some work in track and field, and we'd like to get our feet grounded first in those sports with the isolated scenarios before expanding out into other sports.
Okay, what a rocking company. Who are your competitors?
Yeah, it's interesting. So there are some folks that we see as complementary technologies. They're more outcome-based scenarios and solutions like Rapsodo, TrackMan, blast motion sensors. And then there's some folks that are actually doing this in a manner of speaking. And that's Team Mustard, ProPlay AI, See Motion. What separates us from some of the other elements of competition there are, well, one, we really think that we have a good handle on making discernible data in terms of recommendations that are understandable for the athletes. Number two, we pride ourselves on the accuracy of the data that we have. And number three, again, we believe that this information is their information. We're not selling it to anybody else. We're definitely maintaining the privacy and sanctity of people's own data.
Awesome. We have another great question. Is this just for baseball or is it adaptable for other sports like golf, football, other sports ball?
Other sports ball, indeed. Yeah. So I'm a little biased. We kind of fell backwards into this one. We'd started with baseball and golf because my co-founder's former college golfer. I played baseball and coached softball in college. That's where we started. But we're absolutely serving other markets right now. In fact, we have some contracts with golf. We have some contracts with baseball. We've been talking to some folks in tennis. We've been working with the Premier League soccer team. We do want to take it slow. Obviously, I want to conquer every sport eventually, but we're going to start in a few sports, and eventually we will get to some others. In fact, I just had a conversation with a gentleman that used to work with me at Microsoft about weightlifting recently.
Awesome. So how do we keep in touch with you, Max? Is there a place we go for updates? Are you on social?
We are indeed on social. So at Sports Trace, check us out on Insta, LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, all the things. You can go to our website, sportstrace.com. There's actually beta access sign up right now, but if you're just interested in hearing more news, we have signed up for that as well.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much, Max. Fantastic pitch. Great job going first. There's some excellent questions in the chat that we didn't have a chance to get to, so hopefully we'll have a chance to see you afterwards. Yeah. Awesome job, Max. Congratulations.
Thanks, everybody.
Quick reminder, this is how we're going to vote. Vote with your, point your phone at the QR code and it will pull up a thing. Don't vote yet. It doesn't count. You haven't seen all of them yet. But when we do, this will be the time. And then make sure that you are putting your chats in the side comment. Obviously, a lot of people figured this out. Let us know what questions you want us to ask. This is your pitch competition. We're just here to help. Okay, so next up, we're going to have Shauna of Intention Labs. Really excited to have her come up today. And Shauna is, I'm just getting your screen share going here.
Amelia, it's lost my screen share.
It has lost your screen share. This is a good reminder for everyone. Be gentle with us. The tech gods are a little unwieldy. Shauna, we're going to move on to Steve, Innovate next, and we'll come right back to you.
That sounds good.
You okay? All right. Steve, I hope that you are ready to go. I see that you are plugged in here. I'm going to get you in and take it away.
Awesome. As a child, my Australian grandparents, both biologists, helped me understand how our generation has a responsibility and a challenge to protect our natural resources so that our next generation would have clean air, water, and plentiful food for their kids. Today, over 70% of our water is used to produce food. Population growth is exploding, and the UN tells us food production needs to increase dramatically. And predictable weather is no longer something we take for granted. This puts immense stress on farmers as they work to grow our food supply. It's not business as usual. Farmers are dealing with 15+ apps to manage their business today, which is tedious, cumbersome, and costs precious time. Enter Innovate Ag. Last year, we were commissioned by the Washington Tree Fruit Research Commission and partnered with Washington State University to establish a smart orchard comprised of many IoT sensors and data sources. From that project, we've developed one interactive map-based app that shows the farmer unified data with actionable insights that impact their top and bottom line so they can manage toward even better outcomes, higher production with more efficient use of labor. Our SaaS-based agricultural data science offering enables farmers of high-value permanent crops to understand their data in a relatable view, empowering them to optimize their bottom line. We're a team of former Microsoft developers, executives, and ag experts. With your investment, we'll be able to hire additional data scientists and developers to break through on more insights. That's us, Innovate Ag, empowering growers with data. We appreciate your vote. Thank you.
Great job. 138.5. You guys have definitely been putting in your practice with Melissa. Great job. So Steve, how do you get the data collected or inputted here? What's that look like for you?
Yeah, well, that's the part that's not quite as sexy, right? And that's called a data pipeline. And we have built out this data pipeline capability that ties into APIs from many different data sources. And then we've also partnered with a group at Microsoft that's built out something called FarmBeats. And they've partnered with some of the larger agricultural sensor companies out there and aggregate some of that data to make it easier for us to do that.
Awesome. So are there any other competitors in this landscape right now?
So yes and no. There are vertically integrated companies. One VC-backed company out of Canada is called Semios, S-E-M-I-O-S, as an example. And so they actually provide all of the sensors to the grower themselves. Our approach, on the other hand, is actually working with many different sensor providers so that the grower isn't locked in. And then we really enable something called data portability so that the grower has some flexibility to be able to move between different sensor providers over time, but still be able to hold on to that data.
Awesome. So are there certain crops that benefit more from your technology than others?
Yeah, thank you, Cody. So yes, we're starting first on permanent crops. And permanent crops are, think of really anything that's a tree or a bush or a vine, basically grapes, apples, nuts are kind of the top ones, berries, things like blueberries. These are things that growers ultimately put multiple years in before those plants start producing. And so they've got more skin in the game and more to lose, frankly, if they don't get it right.
Great. Another question we have is, does this have the potential to impact, different areas like the Amazon where this might be really needed?
Yeah, I love that question. Absolutely, yes. We've developed our platform so that is globally available, and it's intended, again, to pull through many different data sources. Some of our partners, for instance, Davis Instruments, has tens of thousands of weather stations deployed throughout the world. I would imagine that includes in the Amazon. And so we can easily tie into those data sources regardless of what the market is. And then by partnering with Microsoft, we believe that helps open us up to other markets for distribution as well.
Really cool. We're getting some exciting comments in the chat. Stephanie says, this is so great with the increase in food insecurity. Is this scalable to individual consumers with smaller urban farms?
Yeah. So I would say not yet. And so we've got to get it right with the larger growers. By all means, we would love to get over time to make this available to smaller stakeholders, is the short answer.
Awesome. So future revenue streams. I love it. We have another great question here from Adam. What are the challenges you face with new farm tech, like vertical farms versus traditional farms, with the sensor and aggregation coverage? Can you explain that in a way that I can even understand?
Well, vertical farms I'm excited about vertical farms in that you've got basically, things like lettuce and all of these things that you can grow in buildings or on top of buildings closer to urban centers. And that's great for our environment because that cuts down on transport. However, with this huge dramatic increase that's needed of food production that goes along with population growth, there is we've got to continue to do basically enable the growers that are out there, the commercial ones that are really feeding us all today. And so that's not going to dramatically change, and it's helping them be more productive. And then the other thing is, if you think about berries and trees and that type of thing, those aren't going into vertical ag probably anytime soon. You need lots of space in order to be able to do that. And that's a fabulous question.
That's exciting. I'm going to throw in one of my personal questions, Steve, because this is so interesting to me. What does success look like for you guys 12 months from now? Where are you hoping to be?
Yeah, so 12 months from now, we are working, it's crawl, walk, run. Last year was about research and building that data pipeline. The next 12 months really is about actually scanning and bringing on roughly 20 commercial customers this year, and setting us up for the following year where we hope to double or triple and really start to build out scale and leverage partnerships with some chemical/nutrient providers as distributors, as well as some of those IoT sensor providers that have many customers that would love to actually take their data and enable that with other data sources to help them be more sticky.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Steve. I really hope that we get to dig into this a little bit deeper in the after party. I know that there's some people who really want to get into it with you. So thank you so much for being here. Great job. Excellent pitch. Thanks for jumping in.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, great job, Steve. Really, really excited. We're going to have just a really quick message from one of our friends, Friendly Faces.
Hi, everyone. My name's Ash Bhupati. I'm the founder at Friendly Face. We make personalized masks from your selfies. So cases are higher than ever. We really think it's important for everyone to stay safe and to continue to wear a mask. Yes, the vaccine is on its way, and we're really excited about that, but we're still going to have to wear a mask until we have herd immunity. So please go out, do the right thing, wear a mask for yourself and for your neighbors and for your family and for your friends. We would be honored if you were to wear our mask. You can buy them at www.friendlyface.com. friendlyface.com, or you can find them on the iOS App Store by just searching Friendly Face. Thanks very much and stay safe out there.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Has anyone seen the Friendly Face? They're so cool. If you have one, put it in the chat, give them a shout out. But right now we are going to go straight to Shauna of Intention Lab. Thank you so much for being here, Shauna. You can go ahead and take it away.
Fantastic. Thanks, Amelia. So, the unprecedented consequences of the current pandemic have revealed many broken cause and effect chains across the globe. It started with healthcare systems being crushed by the overwhelming weight of demand, while grocery store shelves were being emptied. Schools and businesses started to close. Collapsing like dominoes, systems across the world started to fail us as we entered lockdown. This story is so well known, we're all living it right now. The new normal. We all know how the pandemic has shaped our lives. And in this moment, there has never been a greater need to align efforts between private organizations, nonprofits, philanthropic corporations, and government agencies as there is today. So how can organizations become more effective in serving communities in this desperate time of need and prepare for the next crisis? Introducing I'm Part, an equitable collaboration tool that enables organizations to work hand in hand with one another, utilizing proprietary beacon technology, which aids in shoring up supply and demand of resources. We're bringing transparency to a complicated supply chain. We're solving for the pandemic today, but preparing for future catastrophes by leveraging a scalable, socially integrated network, enabling organizations like Distribute Aid to find new ways to align with other aid organizations, creating certainty in the most uncertain time of our lives. Thank you for your time today. We hope we get your vote.
Congratulations, Sana. Good work there. Okay, first question, hot off the presses. What markets and industries are you focused on first?
That's a great question. So what we're actually focusing on right now is aid. We are looking at nonprofits. We're looking toward building out with philanthropic companies. We want to make sure that folks have what they need on the ground in communities right now.
Great. When you are looking ahead at kind of like the next big milestone for you, what does that look like?
The next big milestone. Well, right now we are pre-seed. So the next big milestone would be funding for us. I think that's where we're at. We're currently in development.
Awesome. And if anyone has questions for Shauna, put them in the chat. I want to make sure that we are getting everyone's questions in. I'm going to throw up here. What are those mind movies that you're painting with the speaker? I was listening to you and I could physically see it streaming in front of me. Where does that come from? Tell us more.
Mind movies. I think the main thing behind our particular pitch is that it's relevant to everyone, right? So in creating that mind movie, what we're trying to do is just remind everyone that this isn't over, but we want to bring a solution. We want to create space so that when this happens again, because inevitably it will, there will be another pandemic. We want to be prepared.
Yeah. So how does your technology use blockchain technology?
That's a great question. So we use a decentralized private ledger, as I said. And so basically it's integrity. It's all integrity, if that makes sense. Do you want to ask a follow-up question?
Yeah, will you explain to me what that means?
Sure, I can absolutely explain what that means. So with decentralized ledger, essentially everything that happens between organizations gets written to the ledger itself, which aids in which aids basically in limiting liability for those companies so that we can get them working together. So when we're talking about blockchain, we are not talking about a financial blockchain. We are only talking about an immutable ledger.
Oh, interesting. Okay, so where can we help plug in? Where do you need the most help right now?
Right now we need funding. So if you're interested in backing us, please check out intentionlabs.io. Reach out to us at info@intentionlabs. I'm happy to have a conversation with anyone who would like to chat about our work.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you so much, Shauna. Congratulations working through the tech. That was a great pitch. Really excited for you. I'm looking forward to getting to pick your brain a little bit more in the after party. Great job. Thank you
so much.
Okay, up next we have Raj from Thrive. Let me pull you on stage here, Raj. Really excited to have you.
Who, me?
You, Raj. But Raj, I get it. You got to bring up your screen share here.
Why not? Let's do this. So, all my beautiful people, it's coming right now.
I haven't even started your timing yet, so don't worry about it.
Oh, that's not exactly what I wanted at all. So sorry. So I am Raj. Why is that not up? So I'm Raj, guys. So you know what? Just to be honest. So beep, 4 a.m. alarm goes off. It's Sally. Sally wakes up in pain. Her lower back hurts. She still can't stand the trainer in the gym that she's connected with. Why? Because he always yells at her. Why? He yells at her like she's in the army and she hates it. You know, Drill Sergeant Doug. He has so many negative experiences with Shauna. It's crazy. And Shauna's like, you know what? I don't want to do this anymore. So she needs someone that nourishes her and she talks to her in the way that she needs the best experience possible. So she's in constant pain and she needs somebody to help her out. Enter Thrive. Sally inputs her goals when she feels it's fit and she finds a schedule. She finds that she's not in constant pain. She finds a personality fit. Imagine like a Myers-Briggs, and boom, Nurturing Neil pops up from our marketplace. The problem that we are solving, Thrive, is that we want to match wellness professionals burnout due to unfair partner facility fees, lack of streamlined business practices, and more importantly, a client turnover due to scheduling kind of problems. Thrive streamlines best business practices by leveraging technology that will subsequently increase provider service margins. Our product Thrive, a marketplace from a wide array of health professionals, provides service and, more importantly, a bespoke experience to the wanted users. Are removing the convenience and affordability barriers to market. We will make so a more bespoke experience helps those who want it. We will make money through a provider monthly subscription fee with incremental tools that are more important and a bespoke experience for the end users. Thrive Marketplace is more of a well-to-do marketplace experience for well and fitness experience.
Awesome. Well, congratulations running through with the tech. Despite it, I feel like I still was watching all of your imagery there. So, Russ, what's your pricing or your business model for?
We're very lucky. Yeah, we're lucky. Thank you so much, Amelia. So the pricing is pretty competitive. More importantly, the pricing comes from what you might want as an end user. So as a provider, let's just say, Amelia, you just got accredited through our kind of accreditation process. There's a national platform for certification processes. Let's just say you don't exactly know, hey, what's the best way for me to price out my services as a new wellness provider? What we do is we amalgamate, let's just say 130,000 data points. And let's just say we're in the Seattle, Bellevue, Tacoma area. And Amelia, you want to provide X, Y, and Z service. Well, guess what, Amelia? We have 17 providers in the exact same service that you do. So for our pricing for our business model, it's literally, what do you think compared to the entire demographic of what we do? Let's just say we have 13 providers, Amelia, exactly what you do. What do you think would be the best, most profitable for you? So across the board, we have 13 providers and they charge an average of $47. So let's just say, Amelia, you're brand new and your pricing structure just says, if across the board, 14 of my providers charge, $47, I think I'm a little bit newer. Maybe we'll tell you that 13% less will have a much higher conversion rate of your new client. And then your pricing model, we will tell you what your pricing model should be for your next client compared to where you are in the industry. So we're trying to help you with a business platform of all-in-one services and kind of a business in a box to help you build out your best, your highest revenue optimization.
Awesome. There's a great question here. How do you connect people with trainers, or like what data points do you use for that?
Absolutely. We've been very, very lucky. So with our data points, what's been great is that we have had our users, not our providers. So this is just users, Adam. Adam, we did a KPI of about 800 users. We said, you know what, in 1 week, I want to get 800 users in the Seattle area. Adam, in the 1 week, we found, when we put out our kind of metrics, 12,205 users looking for exactly what these trainers' data points are being. And the trainer data points were a 10-mile radius, users who have paid $200 in the past 12 months. So Adam, think about this. The users are now saying in the past 12 months in a 10-mile radius in Seattle, we have paid $200 in some sort of wellness professional provider services. So Adam, think about it. They had their cathartic experience where they're going to open up their wallet and pay $200 in the last 12 months. So Adam, we wanted to make sure they paid for some wellness provider. And then also we wanted to make sure that they had the personality, bespoke experience that they fit with you.
Awesome. So how could Thrive scale up to help folks find other one-on-one services like therapy or nutritionalists? Is that in your future?
So Stephanie, we've been very, very lucky. We have 130,000 providers across the board in our network. And this ranges, Stephanie, from personal training to PT to OT to myofascial releasing to cupping to anything you want. So we're very, very lucky in the fact that anybody in general, instead of the big box experience with a COVID exposure, please, 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 Stephanie, come to me. If you know anything about stretching, come to me. If you know anything about myofascial release, come to me. If you know anything about cupping, please come to me. If you know anything about occupational therapy, Stephanie, I need your help.
I do happen to know Stephanie teaches bar, so she may be coming your way.
Stephanie, I absolutely need bar instructors. I have 12,205 users in a 10-mile radius who would like some exposure.
Oh, connections happening. Okay, real quick, while we have time, does your product, does Thrive evolve with the user, like the 10-year experience and customer-based recommendations to increase cost or decrease or some of that kind of future forming? What does that look like?
Heather, I love it. So here's what's brilliant. We're bringing a bunch of data. So Heather, imagine, let's just say we have, wherever you are in Queen Anne, Cap Hill, or whatever it might be, Heather, Indiana, Atlanta, it does not matter. Let's just say your bespoke user says, hey, I want to make sure that you can deal with me for 10 sessions in a row at Wednesday at 10 a.m. Cool. Heather, you're going to take priority over the one person who might be able to be like, hey, I can service this client for one session on Wednesday at 10 a.m. So for the provider, Heather, you have a much more experience of having a 10x multiple of revenue stream versus a one-person one-off. So you actually triage through our optimization wait list of, you know what, Heather, your tenure is much longer than anybody else. I want to make sure for you and I, Heather, we're a better match. You get 10 sessions at this point. You're on top of the ladder with everybody else. It's been very helpful having someone who's bought in, if that makes sense, Heather.
Awesome. Well, I'm just throwing this up there. Stephanie is sold, so but you are going to have to wait and tell her in the after party because we need to move on to our last but not least, Metrola. Thank you, Raj. Great work. All right. Next up, we have Metrola. Really excited to invite Alexandra here. Go ahead and take it away.
Awesome. Thank you, Amelia. So I grew up in a small town with a family-owned car business for 96 years. In fact, instead of college, my parents talked about sending me to dealership school. But even at 17, I couldn't believe that humans were responsible for driving tons of metal with nothing to separate us besides a painted line on the road. Even at 17, I knew cars were meant to drive themselves. I joined Motorola to make autonomous vehicles possible and fix the limitations of the technology that is stopping autonomous vehicles. While humans use our eyes to stay in our lane and see the road, self-driving vehicles rely on sensors that act as the vehicle's eyes to help interpret their surroundings. The real reason cars aren't driving themselves is because the sensors simply aren't reliable. They require an immense amount of data that currently engineers cannot see or view remotely in real time. This leaves serious and literal blind spots in sensor technology before we can realistically rely on self-driving vehicles. Motorola gives the vehicle's eyes superpowers to keep users safe and make development possible, with the ability to track and interact with what the vehicle is seeing in real time, building distributed data pipelines that make automation possible. We've built our technology with multiple patents and tested for integration with all major LiDAR manufacturers, Ouster, Luminar, and Velodyne, as well as partnered with Cradlepoint Networks for 5G. Motorola fixes the limitations stopping us from a safer, reliable future for the future of tomorrow and not another decade. I can confidently say, even at 17, I knew self-driving cars would be the future. Vote for Motorola and help make automation possible.
Congratulations! I was just about to cut you off, but you were perfect on time. Okay, Lexi, tell us, who is the customer? Is it the government, autonomous driving companies, individuals? Who are you marketing to?
Absolutely. So we actually have a long pipeline to start with defense. Currently, we see a lot of automation as well as industrial and infrastructure, with a longer pipeline in smart cities and autonomous vehicles, just because it takes a little bit more to actually work with the OEM.
Awesome. And one of the questions, now this might be a dumb question, so I'm going to be the one to ask it. When I first heard of Motorola, I didn't fully understand what LiDAR really meant. I'm going to ask a dumb question, so for all of us in the audience, can you just really quickly, what is LiDAR and why do I need to know about it?
So LiDAR is the technology that is actually driving autonomous development. That ranges from autonomous vehicles, agriculture, such as the company that we heard from earlier with Steve, industry, and construction. Anyone that's really seeking to pursue automation is currently using LiDAR technology. And that's just because it gives them the whole breadth of data that is necessary to make that development.
Awesome. So how is this different from what Tesla or other companies are doing?
I am so glad that this got brought up. I actually get asked about Tesla a lot, and Tesla actually does not use LiDAR technology. They only use video, and they did that because at the time they were trying to beat the other companies on cost and get to market faster. Currently, LiDAR has become about 10% of the cost that it was when Tesla was starting development. One of our partners actually has a sensor that's $800, and they plan to have one that's $100, making it much more affordable. We actually think that because Tesla didn't use LiDAR, they're going to miss a key component of automation and potentially not ever be able to reach level 4 autonomy, which just means you'll be able to drive completely without the steering wheel.
Oh, so cool. So how is a startup going to be able to take on the whole self-driving car industry?
Awesome. So we have built a robust partner network. We have partnered with every single LiDAR manufacturer. We actually made sure to integrate and be vendor agnostic. So we have integrate widely across the industry, as well as we have 5G capabilities with Cradlepoint Networks. And our team has proven track record in startups. I personally have run my own business since I was 21, and our CTO was originally developing on autonomous semi-trucks when he found this. Oh,
awesome. So,
yeah, the status of the company, yeah.
Yeah, what's the status? What's the stage? Tell us about the team.
Cool. So we have multiple pending patents, an additional 4 on our roadmap this quarter. I am the CMO and co-founder. I have been part of multiple acquisitions and seed rounds, as well as my CTO and CEO. We're really, really, really excited about where we're heading. And for all of our partners, if you guys are watching, we're really excited to take market.
Awesome. So have you seen what Google's autonomous tech is doing? Is that a potential competitor or threat? What's your plans there?
Google is by no means a competitor or threat. Actually, I think that if you look at autonomous development, it's really narrow-minded to only think of it in terms of vehicles, right? Because currently, it's a really small portion of the market. Actually, most of our pipeline is going to be within access control, defense, and that's just because typically LiDAR sensors, the technology that we're built on, were really, really expensive. As I had mentioned earlier, the cost has been driven down, which now makes it accessible for the range of industries pursuing automation. I'm sure you can appreciate we are in the fourth industrial revolution, the age of automation, and we believe it's going to be a race pursued by multiple companies, not just autonomous vehicles.
Awesome. Well, I think we have time for just one other question. Ram asks, do you think 5G is needed or going to help LiDAR technology?
Actually, using our technology, it's not needed. We can provide you access to the data on even 3G, which is totally incredible if there are any tech people in the crowd, 4G terrestrial. But we do have a partnership with Cradlepoint, who has expanded our capabilities to 5G, and hopefully down the line, Verizon.
Awesome. Well, great job. Thank you so much, Alex. Really, really impressed. Great job, Metrola. I'm going to pull you out because it is time for voting. This is the audience. This is your chance. So take your phone, scan the QR code, make sure you're voting for who you think should win. The link is also down in the bottom, so make sure you are getting that together. We are going to take a 4 to 5 minute intermission while we get those votes tallied. So I'm going to bring up some music for a sec, but I'll give you a second. Make sure you get your
South Central LA, where he raised Randy, who taught me, son, cops don't play. Marshall just do, yeah, whatever they say. They power hungry and they just might spray. Just live to fight another day. You know, good to nobody dead. So I remember one time I was doing just fine with the windows down and seat on recline. Out the corner of my eye, saw some flashing blue lights, and I thought, God, I might die. Yeah, he came to my side, told me step outside, and I said, officer, why? He said to see if you got warrants. See, hatred is apparent even though you've never done a crime. Proud, proud, proud. Woo! All black and proud. Say it now, say it loud. Heavy is my crown. I'm black and proud. I'm black and proud. Say it now, say it loud. Heavy is my crown. I'm black and proud.
Reason we defiant, cause the killers were compliant. I could break it to a science while we fighting with the law. Ain't no way to hide it, brutalize us and disguise it. And I pray they get the guidance, but we're fighting on the wall. Killers and you silent, and they kill us when we riot. Never listen, cause they bias when we all get along. See, we too divided, think we need to be united, cause there's too many dying at the hands of the law. Know the judge cause your color black skin, leave all the reasons for passive. I know it kinda seems I'm hard to be asking. Homie couldn't breathe on the concrete gasket. Too many mothers putting sons in the casket. Too many eggs, get a bigger basket. Too many sheep to sleep pasture. Too many prayers, gotta call another pastor. Too many beds, too many hoes. It's too many hoes. It's too many feds and they calling for backup. I need them to pack up, but we gonna act up. The streets so cold, roads like Alaska. Call this rapping, call this passion, call this some action. I'm calling you capping. That's exactly why we stopping traffic. Brought in traffic stops, where they blasted. All of the body cams turn plastic. Targeted blackness. I'm black and proud. Say it now, say it loud. Heavy is my crown. I'm black and proud. I'm black and proud. Say it now, say it loud.
Okay, here we go. We have live results in. Let me make sure that everyone can see this really big. And as we are having the votes come in, you can see the live tally that we got going. Okay, we have just a couple more seconds to get the final votes in. And I think we can say our winner is Metrola. Come on up. Oh my gosh. Alexandra's so excited for you. Congratulations.
I'm so excited.
Oh my gosh. So,
thank you guys. Thank you to everyone that voted for us. If you want to know about Metrola, you can head to metrola.com. Contact at metrola.com if you want to work with us. We are always building our partner, particularly in the OEM, nudge, nudge. And thank you guys so much. I am very humbled by this, and I'm so excited.
oh my gosh, congratulations. Well, I know that you're going to be sticking around and joining us for the after party. So I will let you take a half a second, get your winner's crown on, and we will see you over there. For everyone else, make sure that you are following along with what we got going. Real quick plug for Marshall Law Band. They were our guests back in November. They have gone on and they just got nominated for a Pulitzer, so shout out to them. Thank you for being a part of the Founders Live Seattle team. Really excited to have you all here. Make sure you like this video, share it out. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much for opening conversation with Arif. Really grateful for you. Thank you now for everyone. You are now Founders Live Circle members, so please go online and make sure to watch these. And let's stick around for the happy hour. We're trying a new Zoom alternative, so we will see you over there. Thank you all so much. Have a great rest of your evening. We'll see you in the after party.